Okay. Hello, groomers. You found the GroomPod. Welcome to our virtual salon. My name is Susie, and I'm your host. I'm a mobile groomer from Seattle, Washington, and anybody who knows me will tell you I love to talk, especially about my job. And one of my favorite people to talk to is my friend and mentor and the co-star of this show, the curator of ingredients, Miss Barbara Bird.
Hey, Susie. So glad to be with you now on our good Sunday. Fall is falling in South Carolina, and I'm loving actually experiencing the change of seasons. Now, we had a change of season last year, but in the middle of it, we had a hurricane. So that kind of just like traumatized the whole change of seasons thing.
Right.
This year we've had a hurricane watch, but it didn't pan out. So I'm just like sit here and I watch the hummingbirds are all coming because they're migrating, and it's just like really fun. We never had much of a change in Arizona, and so yeah, I'm happy, and I'm happy to be here, and I can't wait to get into our topics of the day.
Welcome to episode 461 of the GroomPod, recorded on October 5th, 2025 in Snohomish, Washington and Greenville, South Carolina. This podcast is brought to you by our kind sponsors, Best Shot, Show Season, Precision Sharp, Groomore, and Stasco. And if you'd like to tip us or support the show, you can go to our website, thegroompod.com, and use the donation button, which gives Barbara all kinds of neat stuff to experiment with. Or you can join us on Patreon and support the show as a whole. This week, we are going to take a first look at Funky Poodle products, and we're going to talk about handouts and how to use them and what kinds to do and all neat stuff like that. So what's new this week is brought to you by Groomore Software. If you haven't found Groomore, you're missing out. Groomore is an all-in-one software solution for your grooming business. Whether you are a solo mobile groomer or manage several shops, Groomore has everything you need. 24-hour online booking and forms, routing, credit card processing, reminders, Google Calendar and QuickBooks integration, and so much more. And the best customer service anywhere. Shop, mobile, or house call, Groomore has you covered. And they're giving us a free month. Just enter GroomPod22 in the coupon code. So I believe I told you about JoJo, the buddy replacement Bichon.
Uh-huh.
She is the most beautiful and most fun dog to groom ever in the whole wide world, I swear. She loves to be messed with. She's a tomboy. Every time I come, she is just filthy dirty. And it's really fun to have a transformation like that, to go from filthy dirty to beautiful white. But her mom is getting older, and she's an old hairdresser. She used to be a hairdresser. And she's always done an impeccable job of maintaining her dog's coats. Well, this time, she's had some in and out of hospital, a little bit of health issues, and she didn't really quite keep the area in front of the tail untangled. So I had a lot of brushing to do this last time, and I was looking at her thinking, wow, this could be a handful if I don't take this off, but I'm not ready to take it off because she has a really cute, good-looking, mostly adjusted by her owner haircut. But it's really... She's a better scissorer than I am, so I get the shape right, and she goes in and fine-tunes it, and between the two of us, the dog looks great. Anyway, the beauty of having hairdressers as clients, and I have a few, is that when you come in with the dog all beautifully coiffed, they look at you and say, hey, do you think I should be on a quicker, shorter schedule?
Whoa!
And
Yeah.
I know. And I said, really? I said, I think 3 weeks would probably help us out quite a bit. And she went, okay. So now JoJo gets done every 3 weeks, which has two benefits. It's easier for me to groom the dog and work on the actual sculpting and beautiful shape of this spectacular wonderful dog to have my hands on. And number two, I get to have my hands on this absolute delight of a being. I mean, she just lights up the room. She's so fun. She's got the best personality. And she lets me attempt to do a decent haircut on her. So I love people like that. I'm so lucky.
That is a lucky client. So she's lucky to have you. And I'm sure the dog appreciates you too. I know Bichon is just, they can be so much fun. They're just a little bit different from poodles and a little bit more laid back in their friendliness and just like really friendly and very willing to participate.
She bosses their shepherd mix around, big
Yeah.
shepherd mix, and she just gives them one. And she's such a nice, compact size. I mean, she's not heavy because she's always good with weight on the dogs, and just beautifully shaped with proper proportions, and the cutest little Bichon butt that's kind of just a little smaller than a usual Bichon. Especially around here, we have some pretty large Bichons. So what a delight! What a lovely client! They originally had a litter of Bichons. So they had five, and then their mom got one, so they had six. So I was going there grooming six dogs. Yeah, that's a lot of. But the other dogs were older, and some of them got comfort cuts, and it was much easier than doing a bunch of really beautifully scissored dogs. This dog deserves every bit of my attempt to make her look absolutely beautiful.
I'm glad you have her.
Oh, me too. Although I will say, we had her long, even knowing she's a tomboy and that they have mud in the backyard in the winter. We had her probably in the green or the light blue metal clip. And, just that on the jacket, and then everything else kind of hand scissored by me, heaven forbid. And I came back the time before last. All the hair was gone. She was like, I just couldn't let you see her like this. I couldn't do it. So she did a pretty good attempt at getting the dog brushed out and shorter in places. And then I was able to tidy her up to still look adorable. And right now she's a little short, so I'm enjoying that as well. But it's really fun. Her structure makes such a difference in the way for me, because I don't have the skills to see. The groom looks spectacular. It's so much fun when that happens. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah.
We don't have a whole lot with Barbara not grooming, unless you want to hear about her going to the jazz show, which, that was fun, but I don't think that's what you guys are tuned in for. Well, just know this. Barbara has a life. She has a life other than grooming. Who'd have thought that?
I do. I have a life, and I will just share that we went to a jazz venue that was a first for us, and it was kind of this word of mouth, pre-ticketed show, and it took us like about an hour to find the venue because it was in this deserted warehouse junkyard. Well,
Oh,
it wasn't junky. It was just didn't look like there was much life.
a commercial warehouse spot.
Commercial, but not well kept. It was sort of like prefabbed warehouses placed on this property. And then you had to kind of go in and out of them to find the one where the gig was.
It sounds like a speakeasy.
Oh, it was like that. It was so fun. And they had chairs lined up, like there were only about 4 or 5 rows of chairs. And over on the side, they had a table with, a couple of bottles of wine and some beer in cans, canned beer. And I just sat back, and this delightful woman sang and told stories about her songs. And it was just like a special occasion. It was like you were a part of and a witness of a special performance occasion with this little jazz trio and the woman singing. It was really nice. And she was a wonderful singer, and we loved it.
Cool. I love that you're getting out there and doing stuff. You know, it was my dream, but I didn't know it would actually come true. So very exciting. All right.
Yeah, it is. I have a life.
Yay.
Yay.
Let's go on to our first appointment and not just bore you guys with our wonderful lives that we do have, but share some of our grooming lives with you. So, first appointment coming up. The GroomPod and Precision Sharp would like to invite you to check out the newest precise cut shear called Lynx. Its patented design features a thumb ring that slides the length of the handle for perfect ergonomic placement of your thumb. Slide it, lock it into place, and get your best grooms on. Check it out at precisionsharp.com.
Show Season has a great enzymatic cleaner called Kennel Fresh. And you dilute it with warm water and it smells good, and then it evaporates to be a deodorant. As the Kennel Fresh dries, it's enzymatic, it eats the bacteria and the odor source. So it's really good stuff. You can use it indoors or out. Find it at your local distributors or showseasongrooming.com.
We were the lucky recipients of some Funky Poodle shampoo, conditioner, hair oil, scissor spray, detangler. Did you get all the same stuff?
Oh, the box. The unboxing was so fun. It was delightful. It was joyous. It really matched their philosophy. You know, they want to bring joy and fun to grooming, and that's exactly what their box did. They had a little pair of doggy sunglasses in there so you can take your funky pictures and stuff like that. And they had vegan lilac fragrance, which is like, whoa, that's so contemporary. And I just loved opening the box. The packaging was bright and fun, and then you kept finding one more thing and one more thing. It was so cool.
I totally digged. Actually, and I was stupid not to film it.
Yeah.
Because I had no idea that's what was going to happen. So I wasn't set up for that. My room I wasn't in the right spot.
I was sorry too.
I just kept opening. I couldn't stop. I just kept tearing into it. I'm like, what is this? Oh my gosh, the sunglasses, the little pumpkin bracelet, their Halloween bracelet. There was just a lot of care in putting together this package for us. And I bet that lots of people get special gifts in their Funky Poodle orders. Very cool. So I went with the Hypo shampoo and conditioner and the funky, fruity assortment of oil and tangler, and then scissor spray. Did you try the detangler?
Well, no.
Okay.
Because I had a problem with it. I'll tell you about it. I put it in the really cool glass spray bottle. They have this really cool glass spray bottle, empty, that was in the package, and it has their logo huge on the front.
Which is adorable.
It's adorable. It's just like, oh yeah, I want this sitting on my table, And so I put like about half of the detangler in there, and I couldn't get it to pump up to the spray head. I guess it's too thick. I don't know why
Okay, I haven't tried my glass bottle. All I'm doing is admiring it at this point because I couldn't decide what to put in there. But my pumps for the shampoo didn't work either. Not that I would use a pump for the shampoo, but I was like, ooh, I got pumps for the shampoo. So I stuck them in there and they wouldn't suck up even the shampoo. I don't know. I don't think they got a great deal on those. Or maybe they did get a great deal.
So you think that it's a function of the pumps themselves?
I do.
not the thickness of the product.
I do. So I'll experiment with that.
So before you put any product in there, see what happens if you put water in that bottle.
Yes.
And you
Yes.
can do an experiment that way. And if it sucks up the water, you know it's a product.
Then we'll know.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yep. So I have not had the opportunity to try the detangler yet or the scissor spray yet because I've basically been doing lab baths all week. I had one chihuahua bath, but there wasn't enough really there for me to want to do the test with the conditioner and all that stuff. What I have done is I used the shampoo on the lab baths and I loved it. It was a little foamy in the recirculator, and part of that was because I started out with what I thought would be the amount I needed, and it turned out I did not need nearly that much shampoo in the recirculator. So it was less foamy the second and third and fourth baths I did with it, but I love the way the dogs feel and the way it cleans. I'm not a huge fan of the smell of the hypo because, in my opinion, hypo really shouldn't have a smell, and it does.
Well, I had the hypo too. I got the hypo and the whitener. And I didn't have a problem with the smell of the hypo because I felt that it was very light and probably formulated without known allergens in it. I think it was something suggested to them for hypo, um, because without anything, a shampoo can smell actually funky
Right.
instead of funky.
Funky
And
instead of bound chicka bow wow funky.
I got the hypo and I got the whitener. Well, the whitener I wanted to use on Marco because he's got more coat and he's got leg fur than scissors and, and all of that stuff. Little is she has leg fur, but it's just kind of wispy and I kind of let it go. And she's got that skin problem. So I'm still doing a medicated shampoo on her. I did use the conditioner rinse through. I'm going to be honest, I don't get the business about leaving conditioner in the coat. I rinsed through with little because I just didn't want to have too much product on her skin. And then with Marco, I did the whitener diluted with water. I was going to do the foamer, and I got in the tub, and the foamer hadn't been recharged.
Oh,
So I forgot to recharge the phone. I mean, this recharging stuff starts to like fuck up your life.
yes,
You know what I'm saying?
I do.
It's just like more things that you can forget that drive me crazy at my age. I'm gonna forget some things. Why did I forget to plug in? Who plugs in something for the tub? I wouldn't think that. So of course I just phased that out, and then I just diluted it in the jar, and I love the shampoo.
Oh, good.
It went on really smoothly. It was very creamy and it had a real good texture for my hands. I felt that it was soothing to the skin. The whitener really brightened up the coat and it rinsed out easily. Then I did the hypo conditioner and left it in, and I had a mixed experience. On the positive side, he had some serious matting on his leg furnishings that I didn't know about because I'd let a little bit too long go in between baths. And having that conditioner in his coat allowed me to pick out the mats without him having a total mental breakdown.
Well, that's something.
The overall effect of the leave-in conditioner was not delightful. It was not real good. It was stringy and wavy. I couldn't get the hair to straighten with that much conditioner in it. I couldn't get it to dry. It took me forever. And forever is not a good thing with Marco. You only have a certain amount of time. He's got a small inner time clock. And so he ran out of patience, especially then I had the matting that I had to deal with. I had to pick it out. And the overall finish was just like not that attractive. It was stringy and wavy instead of straight. And so I will talk to them about maybe it doesn't work that well on all coats to leave the conditioner in. It might be good for poodles and doodles where they're going to just like drink up the conditioner, but maybe not so much on drop coats.
I haven't had the chance to try the conditioner, but my intention is after reading the bottle, I will do a hand bathing test of it as well, but I'm going to rinse it out. I'm going to use it through the recirculator and test it out that way because that's how I live. And as a mobile groomer, the idea of leaving a conditioner in that isn't like the max really makes me uncomfortable because I don't have time to dry a dog that won't dry. That's a real deal breaker for me. And if I do it experimenting on someone else's dog, then I could really end up with a yucky mess. So I didn't want to go there. But I do have my rent-a-dog coming, so she's going to be victim to the more questionable finish products so that I can then wash it back off. But I want to see how it works as a rinse through.
Yeah, I just think it's going to work well as a rinse through. But in looking at the ingredients of the whitener shampoo and the hypo conditioner, I think that the shampoo is evolutionary.
Oh, neat.
It's a highly evolved combination of ingredients, which I had of novel to me, new to me ingredients like lauryl lactyl lactate,
Okay.
lauryl lactyl lactate, LLL. And I had never heard of that before. And then it's got lauryl lactyl lactate, dimethylloramide slash myristamide, and then this really complex cross polymer called, are you ready?
I'm sitting down.
Bis diisopropanolamine PG propyl disiloxane slash bisvinyl dimethicone copolymer. Whew!
That is quite, that practically deserves a fanfare, that one.
That ingredient takes up more space than a whole shampoo. It's by itself. Bis propanolamine. I said it better the first time when I didn't think about it.
Yes.
You know, like sometimes you got to just like rush through these ingredients and spit them out before you give it too much thought. Diisopropyl propyl propylamino. There we go. Diisopropylamino, PG propyl disiloxane, bisvinyl dimethicone copolymer. Holy mother of all ingredients. So I did a whole little breakdown. So what you want to know is that That ingredient is the next generation of dimethicone slash vinyl dimethicone. The, the ingredient comes from a copolymer called dimethicone vinyl dimethicone, which perfectly performs the function of a conditioner. It helps reduce hair frizz, gives it smoothness and a silky shine, especially useful for people with curly or frizzy hair, which makes it very appropriate to use in a poodle product, as the ingredient coats each hair with a protective layer that not only protects against moisture loss, but also reduces the risk of damage. Sound effect reduces the risk of damage, which is what I'm so concerned about in our grooming protocols, use of slicker brushes, etc., etc. And dimethicone, vinyl dimethicone cross polymers also help to extend the shelf life of the products in which they're used. Got it? So then this biz shit stuff, this biz stuff has a nickname which we will now use.
Okay.
It's the trade name, and normally I am against using trade names, but the trade name is so much easier to say. It's a hydroxy shield,
Okay.
and shield is all caps. Hydroxy shield. So the hydro water. So you see that the water solubility, the water retention, the cross-linked nature of the hydroxy shield makes for a three-dimensional net-like coverage, and it helps to maintain water retention. It supports water retention. So Funky Poodle is an excellent placement of this new advanced ingredient, and I'm very proud of them for this choice. But why isn't it in the conditioner? You would think this is such an evolved ingredient. It has so much performance specifically great for poodles and doodles that you would think they would want it in their conditioner. But I have a feeling that the the Funky Poodle people, it's a four-person company, and they're novice in our industry. I don't think they really know what they've got in the shampoo that they don't have in the conditioner. I don't think they really understand the value of that ingredient. Here's one more thing: it restores the water repellent nature, natural nature of the hair. So as the hair gets damaged, poked and prodded and cracked and crinkled, it takes on more water, and it goes from being hydrophobic in nature to being water loving, and too much water can make the hair actually be mushy. And so this hydroxy shield restores the hydrophobic nature of the hair, which is really revolutionary. And I wish that they would use it I wish that, first of all, I wish that they would market the value of this really, it's tomorrow's ingredient today. And I wish that they would market it instead of doing the usual all natural. Well, they don't say all natural, but they do market themselves as natural. And Hydroxy Shield is as synthetic as you can get.
But here at the GroomPod, we always say better living through science.
Better grooming through science, we would say.
They have a cool website. When you go to the groomer section of the Funky Poodle website, the Funky Groomer section, they have some seasonal stuff. And I was, of course, immediately attracted to the seasonal stuff. So listen to this description. Listen to their description of their Witch's Brew. Our Witch's Brew shampoo enchants with a bewitching fragrance inspired by the irresistible allure of caramel apples. This spellbinding scent opens with the crisp, juicy essence of a freshly picked apple. Then their tart and refreshing notes conjuring the magic of an autumn orchard under the moonlight. Swirling through the heart is a rich, buttery caramel accord. Its warm, sugary depth casting comfort and decadence. There's a misspelling there. It should be decadence. The fragrance settles into a smooth, creamy vanilla base, leading a lingering softness and perfectly balances the tart apple and luscious caramel. So they need to do some like proofreading of their stuff. But what a description. I want that shampoo so badly.
Well, I do too.
But the best thing about it, they have a thing called the scent profile strength. So it gives you an idea of just how powerful or staying power, I'm assuming, the scent is. And this scent is a 6 out of 10. So I think that's a great way to let people know how fragrant your shampoo is. I would love a 6 out of 10 caramel apple shampoo. That sounds delicious. I mean, delightful. I'm not eating it, right? They also have some cool bundles. They've got a bundle. So they've got a bundle that comes with a gallon of shampoo, a gallon of leave-in conditioner, and then a 16-ounce refill of the Witch's Brew Detangler fragrance. So it's a nice little package. You can get the whole group. They have it in other things as well. They've got lots of flavors. I really, like I said, I loved the way the shampoo cleaned. I really enjoyed it. I probably would be inclined to buy some more. I would like to try the rest of the stuff. Like I tried the hair oil on myself and I did not care for the smell and I was stuck with it on the end of my hair for the whole day. The next day, I smelled like a bowl of Fruity Pebbles. It was fantastic the next day. It was the first day I didn't like it, but the second day in my hair, it was really nice. So I want to play with some of the products he gave us. Thank you so much for sending this stuff to us to test out. If any other product manufacturers want to send stuff to us, we'd be happy to review it, although we can't promise it's always going to be nice. Sometimes we don't like stuff. And that's just the way it is. And here on the GroomPod, we tell tales and name names. Do you want to say anything else at this point about the shampoo line?
No, I'm just interested in further using their product and reporting back to you what I think. I want to really try the detangler. And I haven't tried the oil at all. And Christopher, the CEO of the organization, he's very proud of their very simple sunflower seed oil with fragrance. I mean, sometimes simple is the best thing. And I'm sure there again, we'll have to see how it works on Maltese hair.
Yes, I'm excited too. Also with Figgy's Havanese hair. It should be fun. Okay, stay tuned, people. Meanwhile, let's take a break. Let me tell you about Best Shot's newest addition to the Ultramax Pro line. Ultramax Hair Hold is a flexible hairspray that can be layered on for a stronger hold. Ultramax Hair Hold spray is great, but my favorite new product is called the Max, and I won't groom without it. It's a fragrance-free, ultra-concentrate conditioner and detangler. It reduces drying time and handles undercoat and tangles like magic. Just a few drops in the final rinse or spray it on and dry it in. Contact your favorite Best Shot distributor or learn more online at bestshotpet.com. Grooming success begins with Best Shot in your tub. Made from the best stuff on earth.
Groomers, take your seats. It's time for B-Bird's Classroom.
Funky Poodle has hot sauce, too. Did you see that? They sell hot sauce.
No, I didn't see that. Where did you find that?
It's on their page. It's called the Dogfather Hot Sauce. It's $9 for a bottle. You might want to try that. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about. Today, we're actually talking about Groomer Handouts. It's a paper trail that protects your business, educates your clients, and keeps them coming back. It also keeps your name on their mind. If you've got your logo on there, or even if you don't, they think about dog grooming when they see the handout. So it's a good thing. So in the big picture, we are really lucky to be living in an age where AI can write a fabulous introduction like that. But more importantly, they can help you design your handouts.
So what did you get AI to? Did you get AI to design a handout for you?
I did not get AI to design a handout, but I asked AI what should be included, and they gave me some tips. So they say, AI, they, her, she, mine might be a dude, I can't remember. Keep it simple, which makes a lot of sense. People don't want to plow through a bunch of stuff. They use bullet points, make it easy to understand, and use AI to design it so that it's appealing to read and look at. I don't know if you have to pay for an extra AI for that, or if regular AI would do it, the freebie. But I mean, it's amazing what you kind of help you can get. I write pretty well, but AI often writes better than I do and organizes thoughts better than I do. So I do use it. They say make sure to include your branding, which I think is super important. Like when they pick up that piece of paper that says whatever you've handed them, that your name and logo are on the top and your phone number and all that stuff. Use pictures, diagrams.
Well, wait a minute. Use pictures. My idea is, and I don't know how I would do it, but my idea is to use a photo of the people's dog.
I think that's fantastic.
I think if there's a picture of their dog, that handout is likely to go bam on the refrigerator door right there for that dog to be grinning at him. And, you know, it's really very easy to take just a snapshot. It doesn't have to be a full profile where you're showing off the grooming and all that. Even just a headshot, just a cute photo of the dog, and then have a space under your logo where you have a picture of the dog, and then the handout. And my experience with my AI just automatically asks me if I want them to do one.
Barbara pays for her AI. She's got to step up on the AI from me. I have the free.
This was Chat GTP 4, and I'm not sure that they really know that I paid. I'm not, listen, I just have such trouble.
So it asks you if you want to organize it into a handout?
Can I make a handout for you?
Wow.
Yeah. So we talked about this is a handout, and I don't know what I've done with it. Okay, I'm going to go to, look at, this is a post-groom handout. So it's like after the grooming. And this makes so much sense because when I go to the doctor now in 2025, I get a handout from the doctor that gives a review of what we did in the appointment,
Nice.
any new changes in medication, and any recommendations that the doctor makes, or agreements that we have, or
Super cool.
so that's what this is. And they sent me a download. Oh, now they're not letting me download it. So now I can't see it. But uh shit. See, I've been dragging my heels. I didn't finish the job. I take full responsibility for dropping out of the assignment.
Okay.
It's an 85-year-old thing.
Yes, I understand. They also say, AI said, to make sure that you include a call to action. And I hear that term all the time now, a call to action. And I think what they mean is what to do next, or what the action you're supposed to take.
Well, yeah, next grooming appointment. Wait a minute. Here it is.
Oh, you got it.
Yeah, here up on the post groom coat care. Your pet has just been freshly groomed. To keep their coat looking and feeling great, follow these simple steps at home: daily care, brushing, how many blank times per day, per week, use a slicker comb, other, check for tangles, focus on friction areas behind ears, underarms, belly, and tail. Bathing between grooms, when to bathe, every blank weeks, or if only if dirty. Shampoo to use, conditioner to use, directions. Always rinse thoroughly to prevent residue. Coat health tips. Avoid overbathing, it can dry the coat and skin. Use conditioner, yes or no? Well, I'm going to say yes. Keep hair dry after walks in rain or snow. Regular brushing prevents matting and keeps a natural shine. Things to watch out for: red, itchy skin, excessive shedding, tangles that don't brush out easily, and any unusual odor or discharge. If you notice these, call your groomer or vet. Next grooming appointment, recommended dates or as needed, and then your groomer notes. Now, that was their handout.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it was very impressive. I said to I want to encourage groomers to recognize the value of having printed handouts on hand for clients. Is there information supporting the value of handouts for other professionals? And AI said, short answer, yes. There's solid cross profession evidence that giving clients a printed handout, especially with pictures, improves recall, accuracy, and follow through. Well, that's what we want. We want that follow through. Here are a few data points you can quote. I'm quoting AI to you.
Okay.
People forget a lot of verbal instructions.
Yeah.
A classic review found 40 to 80% of information given verbally in medical visits is forgotten immediately.
Any of us who are married know that what our husband hears at the doctor and what they tell us they hear at the doctor, completely different. So I totally believe that.
And, some of our biggest conflicts with customers come from them forgetting or changing around what the vet said,
Yes.
not getting it right.
Yeah, how cool is it that your doctor gives him a printout of everything? Mine does too. I mean, that's just so neat. So what else?
Written versus verbal only, a meta-analysis of emergency department discharges reported average recall of instructions at 47% with verbal only versus 58% with written and 67 with video.
Oh,
In the same literature, so that's telling us that maybe even if we could pick a video of brushing out, if we don't want to create one, if we could pick one out and give them a link to look at when they're first, these are when they're kind of new customers, or if we run into a problem that they're not doing it well later down the line. So pictures plus plain language cuts errors and boosts adherence. In dentistry, written instructions seem to, they had one big study that showed it made a difference and another that said it didn't. Here was a veterinary, a 2024 review of small animal client communication highlights the same pattern. Written instructions improve client recall and correct medication, or in this thing, grooming use.
the first vet hospital I worked at had two full-size, the tall kind of metal filing cabinets, and it was an exotic vet. It was full of handouts for every single type of animal husbandry you would ever want. So if anybody came in with an animal like a sugar glider or an iguana or a rabbit, there was an entire booklet of care that went home with each and every client. And the bottom of the invoices suggested which handouts to hand to people. If in fact they didn't get the information from the doctor, you could always provide them with that. When I left there, I had copied one of every single piece of information about every single type of animal just in case I would need it later. And I have a huge book in the other room.
Here's a notebook.
Yep. And you're right. That stuff is so great because I've looked back at it now years later, years after leaving that practice, 20 years after leaving that practice. I still refer to the handouts that we used to give our clients. That's pretty impressive.
So the other things they recommended were how to use medicated shampoo, ear cleaning at home. I would say nail trimming. We don't really want them to do the nails, but I think facts about nail clipping and that the longer the nail is, the less predictable is where the nerve is or the blood supply is. And because people bring in these really long black nailed dogs and they want you to get them to the nub, and you just can't because it would be agony for the dog. And you say that, but I think that facts about nail care, I think, would be a good topic.
I carry two. I carry nail care and I carry anal glands because people have a lot of questions. And I stole those from that first guy I worked for because they have anatomy pictures so that people can get a visual of what the actual, for instance, for the nail, what the nail looks like, what goes on inside of the nail, what the side and the upside down sides of the nail look like, so that all that information makes it easier to understand what we go through and why we occasionally do a little bloodletting. The anal gland one as well. It has pictures of the anal gland in cartoony diagrams, but you can see, and then a little explanation at how they're located in different spots and what their original purpose was. So I think that kind of stuff is great. I think information like that is fantastic. I think also like you were saying, the medicated thing, but the matted pet grooming and aftercare. Like if you brought a matted pet into somebody and then they took all the hair off and you didn't know that potentially the clipped nails can cause some scratches or that an ear hematoma could happen. Things like that. That stuff's explained really nicely. I think the what to expect for a new client, what happens during the groom, I think people like that.
Yeah.
The matted pet and aftercare, fleas. Fleas is a big one.
Yeah. Fleas is a big one.
Flea life cycle, what a flea looks like, how to find them, how to take care of the problem.
Or ticks if you live in the desert.
Yes. Aftercare, like your dog has a skin problem, make sure you follow up with the vet if you haven't already, but there could be some irritation and it followed with this and the Gold Bond and whatever else you want to put on there. Puppy's first groom.
Yeah, puppy grooming.
The big key there, managing expectations.
People dance around that puppy grooming thing because they don't want to ruin the relationship with the puppy. They don't want to ruin the puppy's experience. And so they kind of avoid grooming. Until then, it's a harder thing for the puppy because mom didn't want to hurt them.
And then there's anal glands and the nails and ears, like you were saying, especially ears if there's an infection. I personally, especially when I was at a place where I was not the person always greeting the owner when they came to pick the dogs up because I had gone home, a note that says, please check this with your vet, just a little piece of paper that you send home. But also included is the anatomy of the ear, how to care for an ear, if you were instructed to, how to flush an ear. Another one that is not necessarily needed but helpful is an eye staining explanation. What eye staining is, why you can't just wash it away or dye it away. That's a good one. The dreaded shaving the double coat handout. I don't know if you need it. Verbal instructions for that's probably enough. But what would happen if you did shave the double coat?
If you're going to shave double coats, you need a handout.
I think so. And if you want to deter someone from shaving a coat, a handout as well. With behavior, I learned through Chrissy Newmeyer Smith that it is important to have a safety policy written so that they can take it home and see if the dog is not able to have something done, that you're not going to do it, and that you're not selling a haircut, you're selling an experience. Especially with behavior, you got to be clear about that, because there are times where dogs are going to come in and you're not going to do the nails even though they look like they need to be done. No dog's ever died from having too long a nails. It's uncomfortable and you don't want to put it off. But if you're trying to teach a dog to be a good dog for grooming and they're having issues, you might want to explain that stuff. Also, what to expect when your dog comes in for a behavior type grooming, which is not, like I said, focused on the haircut, but focused on the experience to retrain. How about cats? Cats are a whole nother thing. So what to expect with doing a cat grooming, I think, is important. The how to bathe your cat. You might want to, people are always like, oh, tell me how to bathe the cat. And then you hand them the handout and they're like, okay, next appointment, 4 weeks. And also the cat nail trim and anatomy. Those were the ones I came up with. There's a lot of ones you don't like. Like I said, I have nails and anal glands. Those are the only two I carry.
And look, you don't have to make up all of these all at once. You just need to start, and feel free to ask AI what they would suggest, what they would come up with, and see if it helps you. Because as long as we've got AI, we might as well use it for our benefit. And I think handouts is a wonderful way to use AI. I am now going to, in the next week, ask AI how to take a photograph with my camera and print it on the handout.
I think that's cool.
So I'll be able to tell you kind of how to go through that. I was really fortunate that I ended my week with a lovely little jazz concert in the warehouse space.
Definitely.
It was like being in a loft in New York City. It was just such a perfect experience.
That makes me happy.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yep. Thanks for being here, everyone. We appreciate you so much. Hey, if you ever have any thoughts about something you'd like us to talk about on the show, please put it up in our discussion group so that I can find it and share it with Barbara, and we can see where we can find a spot to talk about it. Thanks for supporting our sponsors. Thank you for supporting the show. And happy grooming, everyone. See you next week on the GroomPod. Bye-bye now.
And please take good care of yourselves because we need you and we love you.